Christians, 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 Christians.
In Nigeria right now, Christians are being killed at rates never seen before in the history of the church. Right now, today. The children being kidnapped. Their daughters being taken into forced marriages by the Muslims in the north of Nigeria.
America, please stand for us. We are dying.
"64 Christians were recently killed, and I am beyond sick of the Nigerian government. I am sick of radical Islamist groups like Boko Haram and Fulani militants getting away with slaughtering Christians time and time again. Christians in northern and middle belt Nigeria are hunted down, slaughtered in their homes, their villages set ablaze, their families running for their lives, while the government turns a blind eye. I went to university in northern Nigeria and had more than a few close calls with those killers who murder in the name of religion. This year has been nothing short of hell. In Plateau State, since December, 136 attacks, 60 Christians butchered, 383 homes reduced to ashes. In Benue State, June, Fulani militants slaughtered 200 plus Christians, burned entire villages and crops, and drove 6,000 people from their homes, all while screaming Allahu Akbar over the bloodshed. And for what? Religion. Over and over again, is being used as the excuse for murder, hate, and destruction. I am sick of it. Religion has caused more harm than good, and the people who hide behind it to justify evil are exactly that, evil.
That's persecution. Not the news media saying nasty things about us. Amen? Call it what you want, but please stop calling it persecution. It's an insult to our brothers and sisters who are really being persecuted.
7,000 Christians killed in Nigeria in 2025. Over 100,000 Christian Nigerians have been persecuted since 2009. And over 19,000 churches burned down. And barely anyone's talking about it. Why is the world so silent? Between January to August 2025, over 7,087 Christians in Nigeria were killed. 7,800 were kidnapped just for their faith. That's around 30 Christians murdered per day. Who are the ones committing these heinous crimes? Fulani militias, Boko Haram, and ISWAP terrorists. They burn villages, kill worshippers, and destroy churches. It's targeted and it's religious. Mainstream media, mostly silent. AP News and Reuters are the only ones that I could find in the last 3 months to actually cover the topic. Now, I don't see any college students or blue-haired saviors marching in the streets. Now, this violence that's happening in Nigeria is getting blamed on land disputes, but Christians are being hunted down. Why is no one covering this? I mean, it's kind of rhetorical because you look at our mainstream media and see what they promote and what they don't like. I mean, it speaks for itself. I'm not surprised. June of this year, 2025, Yelwada massacre. 100 to 200 Christians killed. Hardly reported. Religion ignored. This isn't random. This is persecution. These are children, families, pastors wiped out. They died for their faith, and we have to speak out. So what must we do? We need to pray, share this video, pressure leaders, and demand justice.
Very many people are talking about this topic. The victims are talking about it. The people in the different regions of Nigeria are talking about it. People around the world are talking about it. But I've not seen so many influencers talking about this. I have not seen celebrities pushing this topic further, and there are concerns about what is happening in Nigeria. And again, when you search about Christians being murdered in Nigeria or being tortured or being kidnapped in Nigeria, You're not going to find mainstream media covering this, but there's something interesting that I came across, which was covered by Al Jazeera, much as it's an opinionated article. This person was basically responding to the people that are pushing this information and saying that some of the things that you're seeing are misinformation and propaganda, something that is not supposed to be taken into consideration. There are also other Nigerians who are asking, like, which part of Nigeria is this happening? And others are saying that as a Nigerian, I can confirm that it is true. We are going through a lot. This topic is human interest. That is why it has gotten very many people talking about it. Even people outside of Africa are commenting about this, including comedian slash television host Bill Maher, who said, I'm quoting his words, I am not a Christian, but they are systematically killing the Christians in Nigeria. They've killed over 100,000 since 2009. They've banned 18,000 churches. These are the Islamists, Boko Haram, he said. And with the way people are talking about this thing, it is very interesting that you're going to go online and you're not going to find a lot of news outlets reporting about the issue that is happening in Nigeria. But we are going to go back to this article that I found in Al Jazeera. The writer is a senior special assistant to the president of Nigeria on research and analytics in the office of the vice president. From his title, he says, no, Bill Maher, there is no Christian genocide in Nigeria. Every video that is coming to our FYP is, pointing fingers. But here is an article of someone who is number one Nigerian, number two, a part of the government because they are working in the office of the president. They are coming out to debunk the fact that very many of us are assuming that there is a Christian genocide. In recent days, coordinated attacks on Nigeria's nationhood have swept across social media, blogs, and television outlets alleging a so-called Christian genocide. These attacks, driven by foreign actors, mischaracterize Nigeria's domestic conflicts, ignore its complexities, and manipulate long-standing ethnic and resource-based tension to advance sectarian agendas. In other words, this article is saying that there's nothing like Christian genocide. Both the Muslims and the Christians are facing the same problem. The facts dismantle the false narrative. You're going to go and read the entire article if you're interested. The facts dismantle the false narrative of a Christian genocide in Nigeria. Christians have suffered tragic losses, but so have Muslims, and often an even greater scale. This is the story President Tinubu is rewriting. Nowhere is there an official policy or plan to eradicate Christians. Nigeria's conflicts are grim and complex, but they center on terrorism, crime, and communal disputes, not religion. And then the article goes ahead to say that terror groups kill opportunistically, striking churches, mosques, markets, and villages alike. As the Tinubu-led government has stressed, no Nigerian is targeted by the state because of their faith. In fact, the very notion of a state-sanctioned Christian genocide collapses when one recalls that Nigeria's first lady senator, Oluremi Tinubu, is herself a Christian, an ordained pastor. You cannot say that that is what is really happening on ground. Only the people that are going through this situation can confirm and tell us the truth. Someone said that I am a Christian from Southern Borno State in northern Nigeria, and I can confirm this information. I have been displaced from my hometown since 2013 myself. Both Muslims and Christians are going through the same thing in Nigeria. And under that comment section, someone said that, oh wait, who are the people behind? And another person responded, the Western government and our politicians. For something that has been happening for so long, displacing very many people, very many losing their lives, I don't know why the government is not acting speedily, because these things can actually affect people, even the people that are still alive but have been affected by this war or whatever is happening in Nigeria. It's going to affect them mentally. You're losing your properties, you're being displaced, you're losing your loved ones.
America, please stand for us. We are dying. America, I'm begging. Save our life. Look at this one. Let's use them. Let's use them. Please, why? Allow us to survive. save us. Because they have already finished the man to finish us. Oh God, we have nobody. Only God in heaven can stand for us. Please, I'm begging you, United Nations, your silence is getting worse. Yesterday, one of my colleagues, Reverend, was slaughtered with his wife and his children. And I'm right here, look at women. Immediately they were communicating. After the Fulani husband have really burning down 2 villages. Then the soldiers came in, trying to cause confusion. And who are these army men that are using machine motorcycles? After they get the shoots, they will go. Will stand for us. We have nobody. Everybody, we are now ready to do the last prayer. Since Islamic agenda is taking over the nations, now live at the police station in Barkiladi. Look at those at the IDPs. We have nobody to stand, and we are the survivor. Now more IDPs are being added. Where did they want to go? They have already signed our land, has been relocated to them. They have signed our villages, have been relocated to Fulani husband, and nobody is talking. Even my colleagues' reverends are keeping quiet. Women are dying every day.
It's heartbreaking and devastating when our fathers and mothers come out to cry their hearts out because of what they are seeing is happening to the nation, and the government is not doing anything. Rather, the people feel like they're being confused by the same government that they put into power. They're not even crying for the government to help them anymore. They are crying for outside help. I have seen a number of videos where people are calling upon the UN, people are calling upon President Donald Trump, American government to come and help the people in Nigeria. And they're not talking about how the government should come and help them. In fact, they're so disappointed in the government. This is something that is not supposed to be happening in our lives, but unfortunately, it is happening. And for Nigeria's case, it has been happening for years. In Congo, the same thing has been happening. In South Sudan, the same thing has been happening and is happening. So because people are experiencing little or no response at all when they cry for help, it's going to trigger some bit of doubt. Do our government really have power towards our land and our nation, or are they being controlled by invisible voices that we don't even know? Because if they had power, they should be speaking, and they should allow media houses, that is their duty, to release and inform people about what is really happening in their nations and the truth about it, other than people gathering different information from different places, from hearsays, people gathering half-baked information, people propagating information. At the end of the day, we are still having real people go through real situations, and we are not hearing their voices. Some are terrified, some because of fear, and some have just given up. It is in my prayer that these people's voices be heard and that they are helped as soon as possible. Thank you so much for watching to the end. Until next time.